Well, hi guys, welcome back to this Moneycontrol live stream. You're watching Closing Bell with me, Nandita, Khemka.
And I'm Yatin, Mota.
Well, Yatin, of course, markets were pretty much steady today, above that 21,600 mark, cruising along that level today. But of course, important to note, Infosys numbers are coming out any moment.
Correct.
And in the last few minutes, dying hours of trade, we saw the stock shoot up. And in fact, it has managed to come marginally in the green. So it has wiped out all the losses of the day. It was down 1.5% or thereabouts, in early trade and in fact throughout the day. But just about, minutes before the market close, it has shot up quite a bit. We'll have to, of course, wait and watch out for the numbers. And we'll be talking about the numbers in details, expectations rather in details. But if you look at the texture of the market today, pretty much stable. Mid and small caps were outperforming. In fact, the small cap index, Yatin, has hit a fresh high today. And the breadth was, of course, firmly in favor of gainers. Autos, were zooming ahead in trade led by two-wheelers. So Moto, that stock was the top gainer on the Nifty. Bajaj Auto was the other one. Reliance Industries, Yatin, up
Absolutely.
over 2% today.
In fact, Nandita, the yesterday's 70 point gains on the Nifty, 50 points came in from Reliance and 20 points from ICICI Bank. And today, because Reliance's weight is much higher on the Nifty, today also, most of the gains on the market that you saw came in from Reliance Industries. And not only Reliance Industries, Jio Financial also was up 5% in trade today. So I think both the Reliance stocks, Reliance Industries and Jio Financials, both were doing well in trade.
Right, Yatin. And on the losing end, we had the likes of Dr. Reddy's, SBI Life, HUL, L&T, HCL Tech. These were some of the losers. Of course, we have HCL Tech and Wipro numbers tomorrow. So those stocks will be in focus along with TCS and Infosys because they will be reporting numbers post markets today. Yatin, let's also talk about the mid-cap end of the markets. Polycab, that stock was down 20%.
Absolutely. And, we had the news reports which suggested that the PIB press release which came in yesterday, which indicated that an electrical company has, done 1,000 crores of unaccounted sales, probably spooked the street because, all the fingers were pointing towards Polycab. And because of those income tax issues, I think there was a sentimental negative for the company, which turned into a 20% lower circuit. In fact, Z also moved down 3%. Kochi Shipyard, Phoenix Limited, all of these stocks saw some profit taking. What did well is the likes of MRPL, stock was up 20%. We had Imagica Ad Labs, that stock was up 20%. Engineers India, mind you, that the PSU stock moved 10% higher. And we had stocks like JSW Energy, restaurant brand Asia. We had Jamna Auto, ICICI Securities, Medanta. All of these stocks are doing well in trade.
All right, that was about the mid-cap end of the markets. Now, to the IT earnings, which we are keenly watching out for any moment. Infosys will be reporting and post 4:30, TCS will also be coming out with its numbers. So with respect to Infosys, it is expected to be a flattish and weak quarter given the fact that Q3 is seasonally weak for tech giants. So Q3 PAT profit is expected to rise 0.5% according to Moneycontrol poll on a quarter-on-quarter basis. In fact, revenue is seen down by 0.9%. Dollar revenues, according to CNBC TV18 poll, is likely to go down by 1.8% vis-a-vis constant currency revenue that is expected to drop by 1.6%. Margins likely to come in lower by about 0.5% or thereabouts. It will be the double whammy of higher furloughs as well as wage hikes that could hurt margins. And let's talk about the guidance end also, Yatin. Expectations are rather Kotak expects the company to lower the upper end of the guidance to 2% from 2.5%. But margin guidance is likely to be sustained at 20 to 22%. Of course, guidance will be in focus, but what will be in focus or take center stage would be the management commentary. The uncertainty in demand environment is something that, of course, has left some of these IT giants smarting, right? So that is something that the commentary on that is something that the street will be watching out for, because in the last quarter, some of the companies had said that, they are taking stock and or evaluating things every 15 days. That's how uncertain the demand environment was. So this time around, street will be watching out for whether or not there's been some bit of improvement or not. So that's something that, of course, we'll be watching out for. There's obviously was a big deal cancellation that could have potentially translated into revenues of $1.5 billion. But there was no reason cited for that particular. And we don't know which global company has cancelled that particular deal. So a lot of commentary around that will be watched out for. And, senior management attrition and, the poaching war with, Cognizant. These are some of the issues that will will be in focus, and we'll be watching out for management commentary on that, Yatin. Aside of that, Yatin, TCS will also be reporting numbers. Muted quarter expected this time around. Deal TCV, which was till about last quarter in excess of $10 billion, is expected to come down to $9 billion this time around. Dollar revenue seen down 0.2%, so flattish. Rupee revenue likely to remain flat, and CC revenue seen in range of -1 to +0.7%. It's again the furloughs as well as weakness in BFSI is something that the street will be watching out for, whether or not there's some color given on that front or not. And even the AI game plan is something that we'll be watching out for. So all in all, muted quarter expected, but given the kind of price action we've seen in the shares of Infosys, we'll have to see whether there's any kind of positive surprise in the earnings or not.
Absolutely, and Nandita, more important than the earnings will be the market direction, because I think TCS Infosys would set the tone not only for the IT stocks but the markets which are at crucial zones, because 21,500, 21,600 is the kind of zone that one is looking out for, because there is where the Nifty has been struggling really to take support. We saw 1 or 2 times that level being breached, but for the past 2-3 days I think the market is more or less stabilized around that 21,650, 21,700 kind of a level. So if IT disappoints, I think that support could be challenged. But if IT earnings are strong enough, I think 22,000 could be inside.
But Yatin, Infosys, if that brings a positive surprise, that could be good for markets. Correct. Because Infosys has a higher weight on the index compared to TCS.
Right. That's true. But shifting gears from IT, Nandita, to banking. Today, Bank of India came out with their quarterly numbers, which is the quarterly update, in which there was good, quarter-on-quarter growth of 5% for the loan book, and nearly, a similar 4% kind of a growth when it comes to the domestic loan market. Now, if you look at the liquidity, that is quite good, despite the fact that, the overall deposit growth was slower than the, overall loan growth. They recently concluded a 4,500 crore QIP, because of which the liquidity is better versus other PSU banks. And more importantly, if you look at Morgan Stanley, they have an overweight call on Bank of India with a target of 135 rupees. The domestic loan to deposit ratio improved to 3% quarter on quarter, which is now at 79%. So good improvement seen there. So let's hope they deliver the quarter 3 numbers also. We'll be watching out for the PSU stocks in the banking space, with the market closely tracks.
That's true, of course. Earnings season just about, to start off with the likes of TCS and Infosys, and then of course we'll have a barrage of earnings coming in as we progress this month. But with that, we've come to the end of this edition of Closing Bell. Thanks a lot for tuning in. But just a reminder for our viewers, we'll be starting our coverage on the Infosys and TCS earnings post 4:15 p.m. So don't forget to tune in for that. We'll get you a fine print on the numbers, and we'll also be cutting into the management press conference post that. But for now, it's a goodbye from me and Yatin. You stay tuned to Moneycontrol for all your other news and updates.